This weekend sees us arrive in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. First up is today's practice session. This is a popular location for many of the teams. The circuit is extremely demanding for both the drivers and the cars, and that makes it a very exciting place to race.
It's certainly a track that's liked by the drivers, providing a good set of challenges when racing. It has two long straights that allow for great overtaking opportunities and a very complex 360-degree right-hand corner combination just after the start-finish line. It's a circuit that really has a bit of everything.
Max Verstappen was a record breaker at the Australian Grand Prix by becoming the youngest ever F1 driver to take to the grid. He beat Jaime Alguersuari's previous record of 19 years and 125 days.
It shows the great potential that they believe Max has to promote him so early. I'm sure he'll be eager to repay their faith out on the track.
Hey there guys, it's Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is part number 3 of the F1 2015 Zero2Hero series I'm doing, and here we are at round 3 of the championship, and we're here at China, a track that I'm not particularly keen on, and it's one where I'm hoping we can do some damage limitation and just not get any downgrades, because I've never been good around here and the pace isn't exactly brilliant. We did have a couple of upgrades from the last race. I think we had 2 upgrades in Australia and we had 3 in Malaysia, so we have got a nice couple of upgrades for this race, which should help us a little bit in terms of our pace around here. So we're going to hope we can put them to good use, and we're here in practice. As you can see, we're using our new setup, so to speak, with our new upgrades for the first time as we come across the final corner to set a lap time here in practice to see where it puts us in the pecking order. But this is only my first time lap. I did do a few more and my pace did actually improve quite a bit, and I got myself a bit more up the sharp end, and the pace in practice was actually quite encouraging, so hopefully this can transcend into the race and we can have some good race pace here, because we're going to need it, because the AI are actually pretty quick around here, so we're going to have to try our best to try and get some points and not get any downgrades. So yeah, we're going to get into the race and see how we get on here in China.
It's now time to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. It's time for the Chinese Grand Prix here in Shanghai. There's nothing better than starting from the front row of the grid, and it should mean that Sebastian Vettel is favourite to win today's race.
When we spoke to him earlier, he felt that this was a great opportunity to go on and win, but he knows he still has plenty of work to do. Anything can happen in the race, so you have to keep your feet on the ground until you take the checkered flag.
Lewis Hamilton described the win last time out as one of the best of his career. With the strength of that Mercedes this season, he has the perfect tool at his disposal to get more race wins.
Well, we all know how good Lewis can be when his mind is in the right place. He can be really hard on himself though when things don't go his way, but when they do, he's pretty much unbeatable.
It's race day, and this is the Chinese Grand Prix, and we're going to gear up to 5 red lights, and we are on the way here, and we actually get a pretty decent start, one of our better starts. First time in a while we've actually had an okay start, and we're actually going to get a lot of speed on the Mauritius here. We're going to go up the inside of both of them into turn 1, and we're going to see if we can try and navigate this traffic and try and pick off some cars here as we go through turn number 1, trying to stick our nose up the inside. There's a bit of contact there with Carlos Sainz, and we actually temporarily lose the rear end. It's actually Verstappen though, not Sainz actually, sorry. We lose the rear end temporarily there, so we go onto the grass and have a bit of an excursion, but we're back on the track now, and we're going to see if we can try and make a move into this next corner, into the hairpin, because this is a major overtaking zone as the AI go really slow, and we got up the inside of 2 cars, and actually 3 cars now. We overtake both McLarens and Verstappen, but Brian has come back as you can see, he's on our inside. We're going to try and hang it around the outside of turn number 6 here. Can we do the move? Yes, we can. We hold it around the outside, and we're going to have to look at a replay there of what unfolded there through that series of corners. As you can see, we're struggling towards the latter end of the field with both Mauritius right up our chuff, but we're just going to dive it up the inside. You have the off 3 cars here, you could say, and Button actually taking quite invasive action there, just turning a little bit wider than the apex of the corner to try and avoid my front nose, but as you can see, we go clean around the outside of the world champion there, and what a move that was. I was definitely really pleased with that move when I did it at the time, and definitely one of the overtakes of the season so far, going around the outside there of JB, but skipping later on lap 1, as you can see, and we're behind Pastor Maldonado now. We're actually going to dive it up the inside here of this left-hander, because the AR are going really slow into the braking zone, so I just decided to go for the move, but Maldonado is coming back at us, and he's still up our inside as we go through this carousel here. As you see, Maldonado is actually re-overtaking us up the inside there, so we're going to be having the drag race down the straight now, because there's no DRS yet, but we have got the front and rear wings quite low. We've got 3-1 here on the wings, so we are going to go quite aggressive down the straight, and we do make the move past Maldonado there, so the 3-1 wings there on aerodynamics definitely paying off in the setup there, so that's a job well done for us. And with the P14 after lap number 1, so not too bad of a start, and It's interesting to see because the clouds are really thick here in Shanghai. It could rain here, so we'll have to keep an eye out because anything can happen here. As now we're on the back of Felipe Nasr. Actually going to get a brilliant run on him and dive it up the inside of this left-hander here. So a quite interesting overtake there. Came from quite far back, but we still managed to make the move somehow up the inside. And it's definitely a very nice overtake there from us. And I think we're going to have a look at replay of that because that was actually a really sweet overtake. As you can see, we pulled to the inside right at the last second and we just hold the inside and force Nasr out wide and we take the position. So a nice overtake there up into P13 for us, I believe. So really good so far in this race, and the pace hasn't been too bad, even though the AI at the front towards the end, especially the Mercedes, are really pulling away. But here we are lap 3 with DRS enabled. As you can see, we're behind Nico Hulkenberg, and we're going to see if we can try and make a move on him because we definitely want to get past this train of AI cars. And as we go through turn 1, Hulkenberg's actually going quite some. We're just going to try and slip it up the inside here. As you can see, getting a nice little line through the corner, and Hulkenberg is now on our inside. Can we go around the outside of Kvyat now through turn 2? No, we can't. Kvyat's going to get the better traction, but we are going to be right in his gearbox as we go into the hairpin, and then we're going to try and make a move up the inside here. Surely we are. Yes, we do. We brake nice and late up the inside, and we try and squeeze the Russian out, and we make a move up into P10, and we are now into the point. So a pretty good first couple of laps here in the Chinese Grand Prix, and as you see now, skipping later on lap 4, we're behind Marcus Ericsson, who's ahead of us there on track, so we could potentially be making another overtake here very soon as we go through the carousel, and we're right in his gearbox, and we're going to try and make a move down the strip. Now that the DRS is now enabled, he will probably have DRS on the car in front anyway, but he's not really exactly close enough, and we're right on the back of him, so he might be able to make a move into the hairpin. As you can see, the DRS comes available now as we go into the hairpin. Are we going to make a move up the inside? We're going to brake really late, go to the inside. I'm actually going to make the move on Marcus Ericsson there, so a very nice late last gasp overtake there from quite far back, but we made it stick nonetheless, and now we're up into P12, I believe. Sorry, no, P9. So not bad so far. As now we skip later on the race, as you see, we're going on to lap number 5, and we've got Perez in front of us, so I think he's battling with Carlos Sainz maybe, I'm not sure, but anyway, we're going to turn 1, and it's actually Grosjean, sorry. As we go into turn 1, and we're on the back of Perez. Can we make a move here on the Mexican as we go through turns 1 and 2? We're going to see if we can try and size him up for a move on the exit of this corner, maybe try and pass him up the inside of the hairpin, which would be a likely overtaking spot, but we do get a little bit of a tank slapper on the exit of the second corner, which doesn't allow us to get onto the back of him, and we're going to see if we can try and pass him elsewhere, because as you see, we didn't make the move there. So Perez has stayed ahead for the time being, and we're going to see if we can try and pass him, and the clouds are still not going away here, so the rain could be a possibility, so we have to keep an eye out for that. But here we are on the back of Perez now, again a really good run through the corner, and we're actually going to go up the inside, so a really nice move there on Sergio Perez, and that's another brilliant overtake from us this race. And we're going to have to look at a replay of that, because that was absolutely brilliant stuff there from really far back. As you can see, we're nowhere near Perez at this point, but we had a really good part in turn 6 there, and that allowed us to slip up the inside of turn 7, so a really nice move from us there, and I think I'll definitely take that, and that is probably the overtake of the Grand Prix for me now, because that was a really nice overtake. And now going on to lap number 6, and we've got the DRS on Romain Grosjean as we go into turn 1, and we should be able to make the move on him very soon, because he hasn't got DRS on anyone else in front, so he's quite vulnerable as we go to the outside of turn number 1. Are we going to make the move stick, which will then become the inside for turn 2? Can we make the move? We're going to try and hold the inside. Grosjean's still on our right hand side there, but we are going to make the move up the inside, and there's a brilliant overtake there on Romain Grosjean for P7 there. Grosjean is trying to come back at us, as you see in our mirrors, but we are going to just cut off the inside and make sure he doesn't overtake us, and it's a really good move there for P7, and that move was arguably even better than the previous one. So the overtakes this race have been absolutely insane so far, and I'm skipping later on, as you see, we're on the back of Carlos Sainz now, and the clouds, you could say, are starting to disappear a little bit now, which is good for us, because we definitely didn't want rain around here, because we're not fast at all. So here we are on the back of Sainz. As you can see, we're going to have DRS, so it should be an easy pass, because we've got the Mercedes power unit, and Sainz has got the Renault, and indeed it is. As you can see, we fly up the inside of Sainz there, even before the hairpin, and it is a job well done for us, and we're up at the P6, so a nice move there, and we're actually we're in a position now where we're only going to have 1 downgrade, so if we can push on now for the rest of the race, we could potentially actually get a couple of good upgrades, and that could bode very well for the next race. But as we do run deep there, going to the pit lane, be coming in for our pit stop this lap, so we're going to see what our mechanics can do for us now as we go into our pit box here, and it should be a standard pit stop here. Hopefully no delays and no hold up as the mechanics get to work, and it looks like a very standard pit stop, so good job from them. and we're going to rejoin the track, and we're going to see what happens, because I think we should come out of some clean air. Hopefully, if nothing happens, we'll have to wait and see. There we go, we rejoin the track just ahead, full of cars that are coming down the pit lane, so sorry, down the pit straight. So we are going to have some nice clear air on these fresh tyres, and as you can see, he's skipping later on in the race, and we've got more cars in the pits, which is going to allow us back up into P7. So we was in P6 and we've gone down to P7, so we've actually lost a place somehow, and skipping later on in the race, as you see, there's a car in the pit lane, and I believe it is Kimi Räikkönen, so I think we should get 6th place back, but it looks like Kimi Räikkönen is on a different strategy here in the Chinese Grand Prix, so we'll have to watch out for him at the end of the race. But nevertheless, as you can see, we were trying to close the gap down to Ricciardo. As you can see, the gap right now as it stands is 7.9, and a couple of laps later now, as you'll see in a moment, we did actually gain quite a bit on Ricciardo, but it's not really enough, and our pace on these soft tyres isn't as good as I thought, and it was a bit worrying at the time. As you can see now, it's crossing the line. The gap is now down to, I think, 5.2 or something, so we were definitely gaining on Ricciardo, because I know for a fact he's battling with Massa, as you can see on the mini-map, but we're not really close enough, and now skipping later on onto the end of lap number 17, and we're coming in for our pit stop here for our second and probably final pit stop as we go onto the prime tyres for this stop. And as you see, there's Ricciardo right in front of us there. He's coming to the pit lane, and so is our teammate, and that's actually going to hold us up a little bit, because the mechanics weren't quite ready for us here, so Massa actually cost us a little bit of time, but oh well, what can you do? And in hindsight, I probably would have stayed out maybe another lap or come in a lap earlier, but nevertheless, we're going to rejoin the track now, and we should rejoin just about in clear as a car coming into turn 1 there. I believe it's Danny Kvyat, but we are going to come out just in front of him, and we're going to retain 7th place for the time being. But now we're going to see if we can try and hunt down Ricciardo and Massa, because those two are the target this race. And Räikkönen actually came to the pit, so we're back on with the P6 for the time being, and we've got Roberto Merri in front of us, who's actually holding us up a little bit now, and it's not great, because we are trying to catch Ricciardo, who's, as you see, right in front of us. He's 3 seconds ahead up the road, so not too far away, and Merri's just really not doing us any favours here, holding us up through the carousel. However, we should probably get DRS off the Spaniard, so that's the only positive we can take away from the lap car there, but that definitely cost us overall time, and that is not great for us. But Massa's actually now down to P5, so Ricciardo's overtaken our teammate and skipping later on in the race. As you can see, we're now behind Felipe Massa as we go into turn 1 with 2 laps to go. We've managed to catch up to both of them after a really big push on these prime tyres, but can we make the move with these last 2 laps to go? As we're now on the back of Felipe Massa, setting him up for a switchback out the second corner, but we lose the rear red and we go into the wall and lose our end plate there. A left front end plate has gone, and that's actually going to give us quite a bad bit of understeer, which isn't good, and Räikkönen was hunting us down at a rate of knots, and as you can see now on the minimap, Räikkönen is right up our chuff. He's on us, and we're understeering, as you can see, through the carousel. We've got no cornering speed whatsoever due to the front wing end plate that we've lost, but we should have DRS on Kimi Räikkönen maybe down the straight. No, we don't have DRS, but we do have slipstream, and we're actually gaining on Kimi here. Can we make a move into the hairpin? Are we going to go for it? Yes, we do. We're going to go for the dive bomb here up the inside. We're running awfully deep, and Kimi actually gets the switch back on us. We tried to go for it and trying to hold Kimi behind us for one more lap, but it looks like Kimi has managed to slip away, and we are going to finish presumably in P7, and because Sainz is about 20 seconds down the road. As you can see, skipping later on onto the last lap of the race, Lewis Hamilton wins the Chinese Grand Prix, and we're coming through the final corner to come home in 7th place, which does equate to 2 downgrades, first 2 downgrades of the season, and that is a very disappointing result for us here at the Chinese Grand Prix.
Lewis Hamilton has won today's race with an absolutely sublime drive. He looked very comfortable in his Mercedes this weekend, and it's rewarded him with 25 points.
It was a brilliant performance, and when you drive like that, the feeling of winning is even sweeter.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
There we have it, guys, official confirmation as we finish in P7 there for the Chinese Grand Prix, so that means 2 downgrades, I believe. We'll see that in a moment on the board, but nevertheless, a very, very disappointing race for us here in China, and not one that the team would have been proud of, and one that I'm not particularly proud of myself either way, but what can you do? There's always going to be the tracks that you aren't good at, and that means that in the Drivers' Championship we're now down to P5, so we've lost a position to Sebastian Vettel, who has overtaken us in the Ferrari after he had, I think, a 2nd place finish, so a really good result for him there, and that means he's pushed us down to P5, so not good for us here. And also for the constructors, because Massa only got, I think he only finished 2 places ahead of us. As Williams, we don't really gain many points either, so we're dropping back rapidly in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship so far in this season, but But now we're going to jump into the upgrades and downgrades board, and you'll see that we do actually need to make, as you can see on the board now, we do need to make two downgrades, which equates to the yellow section, which is P7. So 2 downgrades are going to be coming now, and definitely not what we wanted here at China. But as you can see, we're going to now spin the wheel, and we're going to see what we get, and hopefully it's nothing too bad. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a glitch there. The screen for some reason went white momentarily, but here we are spinning the wheel, and we're going to see what we get, and it is reset most recent 3 upgrades. So that means the 3 upgrades that we earned in Malaysia, we're going to have to set them back to the original value for the next race, which is Bahrain, which sucks because that means that Malaysia race was basically pointless. So that absolutely sucks. So hopefully the next thing we get isn't too bad, but either way it's going to be a downgrade. So as long as we don't get bankrupt or anything like that, then it should be too bad. And what is it going to land on? It's going to land on the reset most recent upgrades. So because we got the 3 most recent upgrades, and then now we got this one, we're going to have to remove the upgrade that we got in Australia, the second upgrade that we got, which I believe, I'm going to have to check it, but I think it was make any upgrade. So we're going to have to reset them 4 things. So the only thing we're going to be able to change in the next race, I believe, is the rear wing for the Bahrain Grand Prix, which is not what we wanted, but that's what happens when you finish in 7th place. So we're going to have to do them downgrades for the next race. And nevertheless, guys, hopefully if you enjoyed the video, then please smash the like button down below, and if you're new around here, then please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, link down below in the description. If you want a partnership, apply to Freedom, also link in the description. And yeah, guys, that's about it from me. So like I said, if you enjoyed the video, then leave a like down below. That's about it from me, guys, and I'll see you guys next time for episode 4 at Bahrain.